so it really didn't matter. I mean, we were out and about and doing things. At one point, the thermometer in my truck said 1 degree. A little while later, it said 2 degrees. I'm like, look, the temperature outside doubled. Didn't really feel a lot warmer, though. I don't know why. So, don't know why. Okay? All right, ladies and gentlemen. Here's where we're at. We started doing molarity problems last week on Thursday, right before we left. We did 1 or 2 together. On Friday, you've got a quiz on molarity. Okay? 3 problems. Okay? In the back of the room right now, there are sheets with 5 molarity problems, but you have already done the first one. It was the one we did together in class on Thursday. So you would now have the next 25 minutes to going back and work on the other 4 problems. Now, the problems are on the front side of the sheet. The answers are on the back. So if you do a problem, you look at the answer and you're like, I still didn't get that, raise your hand, call me over, and I will come over and help you. Chalk markers are on the back if you want to write on the tables. Rags are in the bucket. Just rinse them out a little before you take them and use them. Or if you want to come up and grab scratch paper and do it on paper, 100% up to you, ladies and gentlemen, but you will need a calculator. And you now got 25 minutes to practice what you should know how to do. Go to work.
Like everything is on. It's cold. I didn't take nothing else. I'm pretty sure I can. Let's see.
So it should be 35. Oh, I did that so wrong. Okay. We have the volume. Yeah, I forgot that. It's not grams.
For molarity, moles really in grams, in moles.
Yeah, but I was like, it's not that easy.
And that is definitely. Yeah, how much money did it take for people to work? Yeah, it's wonderful. Wonderful.
Wait, it's a big thing. Well, like, I think it's just too expensive.
It can happen.
Yes.
But the thing is, he's not trying to get or have the birthright. He's trying to make it so that new people are in the United States not get birthright citizenship. So meaning.
Oh, so he's good.
So, that's my understanding. I'm not an expert on it, but that's my understanding is that he wants to take that birthright away from people. Well, the problem is that's in the Constitution. So, and I believe for him to get a constitutional amendment approved, he needs a 200 majority vote in the Senate and the House, which he will never get right now. What? It can. The problem is the person who vetoes will be president. But he doesn't have the support in Congress or in the House to get that. Correct. So, and again, it's for not people who already have that birthright. It's for new people. So, hopefully, because I'm tired. Well, here's the thing. It is a very complicated issue. And I think we have to be careful of not letting people into our country and into our country. But again, we were founded by immigrants years ago. Nobody was from here originally. We were Native American. So, and I say, well, that's what we're doing.
Oh, yes.
I necessarily think that's correct. Dude. So, can I ask a question? What is that? Also, that's the last one. Thank you, right, yes, they did come out very close, sorry, yes, okay. So, do the math in one second. No, what do you do with the numbers on the bottom? That's not the one. No, you don't. You don't. The handle fraction of this number times the top divided by the bottom. I use it, I just color it. It must be almost one. You're absolutely right. Yes. All over the meters will get you all. Yes. So it's something you don't know the formula of. I will give you the formula. We give you nothing and we give you. Perfect. Let's start out again. I mean, issue your balls. Okay. Yes, sir. No, 1,000 millimeters will do.
Oh, sucrose.
Yeah, don't worry about this. 104 molar.
Yeah, okay. Yes, and we got it
That's the
right.
way we would read it. And when it's the big M, you read it as a molar after number. It is the molarity, but we read it as molar.
Yeah.
So we say that's a 1.4 1.04 molar solution. It means the molarity of the solution is 0.104. Just difference in how we read it depending on where the M is. Okay. Coming far on. Hang on one sec. Let me grab a drink. You can use it. It's just, to me, it's very difficult to read on the table. See, that's from dark blue to green. That's much better. Okay. We're about 1.00 maybe. Go down to just 1.6. Is equal to per moles divided by the liters of solution. And then it gives you the volume of the solution divided by that volume of liters. Yes, you do have to convert that into liters. This has to be in liters. When we divide by it, it has to be in liters. It's 150 milliliters. That's what I'm saying. But that's so basically, well, let's take a look at what you did. What's your answer? What are you talking about? No, oh my God.
Rand, why did you open the door?
I never did that. Sorry.
Oh.
No, I mean, on the desk there is your stuff. Sorry, I didn't hear it. Well, I know. The unit is molarity. That number is all about
Yeah, because 18 is not 15, 16.
Really?
Oh, we're just filling in the rest. Okay? Yep, come. Okay, here's what you're doing in all of these, all areas, all of it, is equal to the number of moles divided by liters of solution. Okay, so which one? I'll take that to an AOH. I require 200 points. No, we forgot what that. This is another way of writing points. But what does that represent? Okay, that's what's going to go here. But you're going to have to really just put it down. Okay? 0.045 molar solution. Where is that? Oh, that goes over here. So you're going to have a number there. You're going to have a number here. Use sulfur here. But this is going to give us what here. So these three things go in. This moles though, if I do differentiate, you should be able to figure out moles. And with moles, you can figure out that. That's good. I'm going to tell you. Okay. So, here you go. Okay. Now let's tell everybody to know that's one pair. Okay, great. Let me write through this. Okay, so that's 0. Oh, wait. 450 moles. Oh, it's because you put the dot. Make it no, it's like that. Other reminder, yeah. This looks good, right? Oh, okay, let me see. It's just how. Wait. You're going to isolate this area. So that's something we don't know what that is. We just don't want you to get confused with one more. That's what we're solving. Okay? So this, to get this along on this side, you're going to do the opposite. To get it right, since we're supposed to divide it by 1. 0, so we go 0, you can multiply by 1. These will not get swapped. Meaning what you do to one side of the equation, you do to the other. On this other side, we're going to multiply by 2 this as well. Yeah, we're going to use the okay? Yes. Let's see. What was the rule?
Oh, I'm ready.
Yeah. And you have holes.
Oh.
So we need to make it raise. Formula that's Heavy question. Heavy, stop.
Primero llegas a...
Oh, you got orders.
You notice your friends, as soon as you got the chance, deserted you and went to someone else. At the mall. You got to look at some solution. I'm aware. Number of moles. But I will give you some solution. You have the number of moles. And here's the solution. No. This one. Hello, Mr. Brown. I do. Sure. Okay, thank you. It's on. Grab your stuff. You're going down to the back. Oh, I did the formula. You have to be solving the understand it. You forgot the grant, yeah. It's been 80. Yeah, I will. All right, so we'll see you later. I don't know if you'll be back or not, but okay, we'll be here. Yes. If it's what? Correct. Sherilyn, you called? Yeah, go ahead. There, is that better? Well, you told me to turn it up. Well, I'm sorry, but songs do that.
Abby, I changed it to the correct attendance now. You've got 7 minutes left, ladies and gentlemen. Yes. Well, I hope you did something. Where did you get this number from? Where did you get this number from? Oh, you can't use coordinates to know my coordinates. You're going to figure out in this problem, again, polarity equals number of moles divided by liters of solution. What are you given in this problem? Okay, then you plug it in here. What else are you given? You plug that in. Then you solve for moles. Then you use this to get from the moles you find with these numbers in here to grams. If you got this number and this number, you only have one variable. This, you can solve for moles without this. Then you use this to get to grams. Solve for moles first. You can't assume there's 40 grams in there because that's formula. That goes in this conversion. You're going to figure out how many moles there are, then you're going to use this to get it into grams. Where are you making up this math from? Put your numbers in there and then solve them. That's easy. Don't try to put it before you get your numbers. Put your numbers in there and then solve those. That's what there. Yes. Well, because that's there. So part of that's there.
What? Like, oh, I was like, all together. It seemed like
Okay. I guess there's some perks to that job then.
Yeah, I got you.
Oh, I have to bring my wife?
Yeah.
You just
Or what they do,
walk.
yeah, no.
First I had to. I don't know.
That's not my problem.
Tell me what that is, then I can tell you how to get your brain exercise. You got it.
What color was it? Get that.
Now listen, this equation right here, you have to solve four sides. In the middle, solve the
Yeah, my friend from high school, right?
Yeah.
That's the one I wrote for
This is a variable. This is another, this is another. Solve for that. You have that. That's how we go.
Oh, you're great.
Four.
Okay, that's
Yay.
I hate, well, I wasn't. I told them like 20%.
Success. Yes. Good key to success.
You're gonna move on? You're gonna move on?
We're going to be going to your computers in just a minute, ladies and gentlemen.
You don't even have holes in that formula. Next thing.
Was it the Okay, yeah. She told me about it. So we have an You can't even take a look
Well, no, I'm already accept
I really first started going into it every day. Yeah, that's also. It's like you get away from
Really?
Yes, sir. Excellent.
What, did they say more?
No, I
They're not that good.
Thank you. Okay, please listen. Okay. Hey. You can't listen if you keep talking. Okay? So, You've done some molarity problems. You are going to have to do them in this unit because that is one of the ways that you will either be given information at the beginning of a problem or you will be asked to report out to at the end of a problem. Okay? We will show you how to apply this as we get a little bit further. A reminder, on Friday you are going to have a quiz that is going to be 3 questions just like you were just doing. Now please think about this. Our formula for molarity is molarity equals number of moles divided by liters of solution. 3 problems. 3, right? 3 variables here, right? 1 problem solving for each variable. So you're going to be asked to solve for molarity in one, moles in another, liters of solution in the third. Or you might be asked to solve for grams of something because grams and moles are interchangeably through formula math. Very good. Nicely done. Okay, today we are going to begin talking about stoichiometry, specifically what we call mass-to-mass stoich. Mass-to-mass stoich means that if I know the mass of something at the beginning of a reaction, I can figure out the mass of something at the end of a reaction. Guess what? You already did this kind of. Except you did it in moles. That was when we did the gas law lab. We figured out how many moles of hydrogen or how many moles of magnesium ribbon we had, and that allowed us to figure out how many moles of hydrogen gas we were creating at the end. Similar concept here, but we're going to start out with mass. We are going to end up with mass. So, ladies and gentlemen, here is what it looks like. Okay? If 40 grams of magnesium reacts with excess hydrochloric acid, how many grams of magnesium chloride are going to be produced? Okay? This is the problem. Now, here are our steps. The first thing that we have to do is write a balanced chemical equation for the reaction that we are given. The reaction says magnesium metal, Mg with an M by it, reacts with excess hydrochloric acid. HCl, AQ is hydrochloric acid. Again, that whole naming stuff is coming back around. How many grams of magnesium chloride will be produced? Okay, element or compound? Element or compound?
Compound.
Good. What kind of reaction is this setting up to be if you have an element and a compound on the reactant side? Single replacement. It is one of the only 2 kinds that you can predict. Single replacement and double replacement. Those are the only 2. If this were a synthesis or a decomposition, I would have to give you all of the products that are created. So, single replacement says this magnesium is going to go and replace the hydrogen in this compound, creating hydrogen gas. Now, why is there a 2 here? No. Why is there a 2 here by the hydrogen? No. In your periodic table, this is one of the 7 diatomic molecules. Diatomic means hydrogen will never be alone as a gas, as an element. It will be H2. Now, of all of the elements up here on the periodic table, there are only 7 of these. 7. And again, if you've gone to a new periodic table and you do not have these written down, here are the 7. Hydrogen is 1. It will always be H2. Nitrogen will always be N2. When it is alone, not in a compound like it is here, when it is alone, it will be H2. N2, O2, F2, Cl2, Br2, and I2. Those are the 7 diatomics. Any other element up here, when it is alone, it will simply be the symbol that is shown on the periodic table. Questions? Okay. Now, over here, it was HCl. Why here is it MgCl2?
Because Cl is a diatomic.
No. Well, it would be here too. It's not alone.
Oh.
Why is it HCl here? Why is it MgCl2 here? What's that? It is single replacement, but that has nothing to do with why it's 1 chlorine here and 2 here. It goes back to when we write a formula for HCl. H is a +1, Cl is a -1. We get HCl. No numbers down below. A 1 and a 1 cancel each other out, right?
Oh, is it because Mg is a plus?
Mg is a +2. Cl is a -1. Crisscross method gives us MgCl2. Questions? Okay, so we're good on our formula. Okay, why do I have a 2 in front here? What's that? To balance it. Okay, now that we have written it, we need to balance the equation. If you remember balancing the equation, MgHCl. Originally there was 1 and 1 over here. Originally there was 1, 2, and 2 over here. Because we have 2 hydrogens over here and 1 over here, we need to balance it. So we put a 2 in front here. That now makes this 2 and 2. Everything is balanced. Questions on that? A lot of reviewing, right? We're good. Any questions? Okay. So now, ladies and gentlemen, if I am going to work this problem, I'm going to show you how I would go through and I would work it here. So, give me just a second here. I know this is in your notes. I know it is there for you step by step. But I want to show you the way I would do it so you could see it worked out rather than me just simply going to the notes that are in there and it just popping up. I want to show you why I do what I do. All right. So, taking this, Control V, paste. Okay. So we have a balanced chemical equation here. Now, I'm going to make myself a couple of notes here. The first note I'm going to make is that I have 40 grams of magnesium. So underneath magnesium here, I'm going to put 40.0 grams. Okay? That tells me what I'm beginning with. And I want to know how many grams of magnesium chloride I'm going to create. So I'm going to put question mark and a G there because that's what I'm looking for. Okay? So, first step to any problem is take what you're given and get it into moles. To do that, I'm going to take this 40.0 grams of Mg and I am going to convert it into moles. Now, how do I get from grams to moles, ladies and gentlemen? One mole over formula mass. So I'm going to put 1 mole of magnesium over the formula mass, which is 24.305, correct? Okay. So this is what we call the molar conversion. We're converting into moles. Any questions on that? Okay, now this next step is what is called the ratio step. Okay, I am going to create a ratio here, ladies and gentlemen. Okay, the ratio step is what you are given on the bottom. In moles, And on the top is what you are going to. So let me explain this to you. What I am given is the magnesium, 40 grams of it. What I am going to is the magnesium chloride. That's what I'm trying to find. Okay? Now, what I put in here is I put in the molar ratio of one of these to the other. And to find that molar ratio, we are going to use the coefficients. Okay? So the coefficient in front of magnesium is what number? What number is out in front of magnesium? It's a 1. So on the bottom here, I'm putting 1 mole of magnesium. Okay? And the reason I'm doing that is because out here, even though it's not shown, this would be a 1, correct? Okay. Now, the top part of the molar ratio step is the one that I am going to, which is magnesium chloride. Okay? Now again, what is the number out in front of magnesium chloride? There isn't one, so that means that it is a 1. So on the top here, I'm going to put 1 mole of MgCl2. So this ratio here comes from what I'm trying to get into compared to what I am in. I'm in magnesium here, moles of it. I'm trying to get 2 moles of magnesium chloride. And these numbers out in front are the numbers that I put here. Questions? Okay. So now I've taken what I've been given and I got it into moles. I have used the molar ratio step to get into what I want to find. My last step is to come out in the unit that the problem asked me to. What unit did the problem ask me to come out in? Grams. Of what?
Of MgCl2.
How do we go from moles to grams? We are going to use the formula mass, but it is a different formula mass. It is the formula mass of MgCl2, not the formula mass of magnesium. Okay? So, let's find the formula mass of MgCl2. So, 1 times 24.305 plus 2 times 35.45. That is 94.755. Correct? No. No, it is not.
I got 95.205.
Thank you. I'm sorry. My bad on my math. I forgot to add in the other 0.45. So, Eric, I'm sorry. What did you get?
I got 95.205.
That is much better. Thank you. Okay? So now, does that go on the top or the bottom here?
On the bottom.
No.
Oh, no, sorry, on the top.
It goes on the top. This was grams equal to 1 mole of MgCl2. So I'm making this conversion out of it. Okay? Now we're going to solve it. Now, stop. Let me show you again. I used 24.305 here because it was grams of magnesium here. I'm converting that into moles. The ratio step comes from the numbers that are in front of what I'm going to over what I'm in. So MgCl2 is what I'm going to. How do I know that? That's what it asked for in the problem. Okay? That's what it asked for up here in the problem. How many grams of Mg magnesium chloride will be produced? Okay? So, that goes on the top, this goes on the bottom. Then because it wants grams, we're going to use formula mass over 1 mole, but this is a different compound, MgCl2, not just Mg like here. Okay, take out a calculator. Start with 40.0 times. Now, here's the way I do these, ladies and gentlemen. I am going to multiply every number that is on top together. 40.0. If you want to, you can do times 1. Times 1. Do we need to do that though? So 40.0 times 95.205. Hit divided by. Now, on the bottom, how many numbers do I need to multiply together? I really only need this number, right? Because I don't need the 1 and 1. So because I only have one number on the bottom, I do not need to put it in parentheses. If there were more than one number, I would put it in parentheses. But since these are ones and they're not going to change this number, I'm going to divide by 24.305. And someone tell me what we get. I believe it's something like probably 160 grams or something. Okay, that's not bad for me estimating that I was off by 4 grams. 156 grams of MgCl2. Questions? Yes, no, maybe so. You are going to do these exact same steps every single time. You are going to take what you're given and you are going to get it into moles. You are going to use a molar ratio to compare what you're given to what you're looking for. And then you are going to convert out into the unit that it is asking you to do. In this case, grams. Questions? Okay. All right. Now, let's take a look at the next one. Please don't flip along. Just get to the initial question, and we are going to work through this together. Okay? We're going to do this together. So, here we go. Everything we just did, here it is worked out for you. Oh, you guys messed me up. Who gave me 156?
Did you want me to round up?
Well, I want you to round properly. Since it's 156.6, yes. Okay, we're okay. If we're that close, we're doing good. We're doing good. Okay? All right. So here is our next question, ladies and gentlemen. Let's do this one together. So I'm going to ask you to help me as much as you can. If you can't help me at all, well, then we got to figure this out as we go. All right. All right. So here we go. Determine the mass of copper needed to react completely with a solution containing 12 grams of silver nitrate. Okay? So once again, determine the mass of copper needed to react completely with a solution containing 12 grams of silver nitrate. Copper is a +2 charge in the compound. Now, if I am going to make you predict products, there's only 2 kinds of reactions it can be. What are they? Or single. So, determine the mass of copper. How would I write the formula for copper? What? Read the question. What's the question say?
Determine the mass.
Of copper. Copper. So how would I write copper? Okay. Now, it says to react, correct? That means that it needs to be on the reactant side, before the arrow. So, Cu goes before the arrow. Now, it's a metal, so I'm going to put an M by it. That's it. We're done with it, right? Okay. With a solution containing 12 grams of silver nitrate, how do I write silver nitrate? Ag, what's its charge? Plus 1. Nitrate.
NO3 minus 1.
So what would the formula look like? Solution. How do I write something that is a solution? AQ. Good. Getting rid of this, getting it out of the way so I don't need it anymore so it doesn't get in the way. So if these are the reactants, ladies and gentlemen, what's going to change places with what? Okay. So copper and silver are going to end up switching places. Okay? Copper and silver are going to end up switching places. So if they do that, what will be one of our products? Silver. There's your lone element. Okay, what will your compound be? CuNO3. Right? No.
No. NO parentheses NO3.
Thank you. Please remember, Cu is a plus 2 right here. Copper is a plus 2 charge. NO3 is still a minus 1. We need to write a good compound here. Good. Good job. Nicely done. What do I put by this? AQ. Okay. What is our next step, ladies and gentlemen, now that we have done all of this?
Find the balance.
We need to balance it. Very good. So, to balance it, ladies and gentlemen, underneath my arrow, Cu, Ag, NO3. Okay? So, how many Cus over here? On the other side? How many AGs over here? On the product side? NO3s at the beginning. By the way, I kept them together. So how many of the groups? 1. How many of the groups on the other side?
2.
So what do I do? Okay, so in front of the AgNO3 over here, I got to put a 2 here. That gets me 2 of these, correct? What else changed? 2, how many?
2.
So now what? Anyone have any questions on what I did or how I got there or why I did it? Which one? No. Well, I will explain it as best as I can, but are we good? Okay. So now the next one is a part I'm not grading you on the test, but I think it at least helps me when I do these problems. Determine the mass of copper needed. All right, where's copper in here? Cu. So ultimately, I want to find the grams of it because it says find the mass, right? So that's going to be grams, correct? By the way, this is also mass to mass, right? So that's why I'm finding the mass eventually. Okay, what am I giving the mass of?
Silver nitrate.
How much?
12
12 what?
grams.
So, how do I take this 12 grams of AgNO3 and get it into something I can work with?
Put it into moles.
Okay, I'm going to put it into moles. Okay, we're going to put it into moles. Now, how do I get from grams to moles?
Formula.
Okay, so AgNO3. Mass, how many Ags?
2.
1.
Oh, wait. Oh, I read the.
What's the mass of each one? 107.87?
Yeah.
Okay. How many nitrogens in here?
1.
14.007?
You.
And 3 oxygens. You want to use 16.0? I'm fine. Some people say 15.999. Okay, good. Add this up. 48, 62, 169.877.
You're so smart. That's crazy. That's actually the exact same.
I'm not so smart. It's called math.
Oh, that's crazy.
Do you know why chemistry comes fairly easy for me? Because I'm pretty good at math. It really does. And I watch some of you, and some of you get your butts kicked by the math and not by the chemistry.
Does your wife teach you math?
I teach her math. No, my wife does teach math. But
She doesn't.
like this stuff, I'm good. Addition, subtract, I can do multiplication in my head for most things.
The basics.
All right. So what goes where here?
The grams on the bottom.
Good.
AgNO3.
1 mole on top. Okay. Now the hard part. Now the new step for us. The molar ratio. All right. What are we trying to get into? What are we trying to find? Or yes, I'm sorry. You were correct, Eric. My bad. So copper goes on top. Okay. What number do I put in here? What coefficient is in front of copper?
1.
Okay. Now, on the bottom goes what?
Wait. Oh, is it the 2 mole? Ag.
Well, let's make sure we're clear on this. This came from here trying to find this and the number out in front, correct? What goes on the bottom of this ratio? What goes on the bottom of this ratio? What we're trying to get to is on the top. What is on the bottom?
What we were given?
Yes. What are we given here? What? So, what am I going to put here?
2 mole AgNO3.
Okay. Now, I'm going to clean up some of this over here just because I want a little more space to finish out my problem. All right. So that's step 2, the molar ratio. All right. The final step. Convert to final unit. What final unit do I want to be in?
Grams.
Okay. So how do I get from moles of copper into grams?
Formula.
Okay. Good. What's the formula mass for copper?
63.546.
Oop, you are correct, sir. And again, if you make the mistake, you should realize it because your units will not cancel. So Eric recognized right away that moles and grams were not going to cancel. So now what goes on the bottom? Now, I want to point one thing out. I did not put a 2 up here. There's a 2 in front here. I didn't put a 2 up here. This 2 gets taken care of in this step. So this is always going to be 1 mole equal to the formula mass. Okay? Always going to be 1 mole equal to formula mass. Same here. 1 mole equal to formula mass. If there are coefficients in front up here, they get taken care of in this step right here. That's the step that takes care of them. Okay? You don't have to worry about it there or there. Okay? So now, ladies and gentlemen, get your calculators out. Now, we have to be careful here. The reason we have to be careful, how many numbers are on the bottom that we need to multiply together? There are 2 numbers, so we're going to have to put the bottom in parentheses. 12.0 times what?
63.546.
Times 63.546. Divided by parenthesis 169.877 times 2, close your parenthesis. Somebody tell me what we get.
2.00.
2.00? What's the unit?
Grams.
Of?
CU.
Perfect. Now, I'm assuming you rounded correctly.
It's just 2.0. Oh, 2.01.
Okay. This is why we check. Did somebody else get 2.01? Okay. If you didn't, again, here's what you're going to type into your calculator, 12.0 times 63.546. Put 1 parenthesis. 169.877 times 2, and then close your parentheses and hit equals. 2.24. You got 2.24? Did anybody else get 2.24? Eric, double check. Did you put 12.0?
Yeah.
Did you
No.
put what?
Okay, 12.0 times 63.546 and then divided by 189.
Whoa!
Oh,
I should have listened to you guys in the first place.
yeah, I don't put 189.
I don't know. So what was our final answer? 2.24?
I was not close.
Okay. Good news. You two both did it correctly. Eric, little typo in there makes a big difference, right? Good news is, if you had everything set up correct, you're only losing 1 point in the end for your typo. Questions? Okay. Tomorrow, a little more practice on this. Tomorrow, maybe I'll give you a molarity problem at the start just to get ready for the quiz on Friday. If you get questions, if you get stuck, you need to come and get help. Especially if it's in here on this writing and naming formulas and writing a balanced equation, because I'm not going to keep going over that every single time. Okay? Please make sure you put my calculators back. All righty, ladies and gentlemen. Good work today. Well, everybody but Farhan, good work today. Farhan, you better get your math going.
Oh, the math part got me. It killed me.
I understand that, but what are we going to do? Because this is not a math class. You're supposed to know that.
No, it's because you kept saying you gotta solve it, always keep confusing me.
You gotta practice more on your math.
You know, I wouldn't even.
Have a good day, ladies and gentlemen. We will see you. Goodbye, goodbye, goodbye.
Emmanuel Thompson, please report to the attendance office. Emmanuel Thompson,
Oh, that's weird. Bye, man. See you later.
See ya.
Bye, Mr. Brand.
Goodbye.
Wait,
Give it here. Go away.
Areli Noriega Benega, services.